All right, let me move on to a more positive topic here as I'm heading to one of my former schools here, Cypress College. As you know, I just want to talk about, the fact that every time I'm on here, and look, I'm no stranger to being a visitor of this particular school, because I've been an alumni for so many years now, and I last graduated here, I think, in 2008. Was it like 18 years or almost 18 years ago? So, and since then I've been able to visit. I've visited about several times already, even in past years. So, there's been some changes, but I've seen much bigger changes in Cal State Fullerton when I visited. So let me just talk about this as far as, this particular school. Like, every time I walk in it, and I must say, it is like a true, how do you say it? It's like your true medicine relief, or if you want to call it medication. That's like a true medication relief right there. And what I mean when I say that is, every time, like the minute I get into the campus, which I am right now, it really does help me to stray from all the stress that I've been going through, especially in my dump. It's like my perfect getaway place, because the fact that it brings so much nostalgia every time I'm here, and just knowing that it brings back so many good memories, and it makes me think about people that I miss and have been friends with, just knowing that what I had missing then, I had like about a decade later, and this is what's a blessing. And so I think that by coming here, even just as a visitor, like just walking on the campus, and I think today's the first day of the start of the semester. So I just want to say, like, it is a blessing, because it immediately helps me to rid any stress that I'm feeling, frustrations. I know that a lot of times some of these friends that I've just been seeing my worst, like if you compare it to some other people's worst, I don't think they would ever have seen it in me the way they've seen others. And regardless, it's still the worst. Sorry, I had to cut, because I'm just like, all I'm trying to do is just get some peace, like just being away from that stupid ass dump, and all of a sudden I'm here and just, dude, this is the times we're living in, man. All I'm hearing is just left and right, and this isn't the only place. I've seen a lot of it, like going back to last year. This is where we're at, dude. And I don't care if I go off on this one. I already went off in my last video about, as far as like what I've been told about. Well, you can't grow professionally until you grow as a person. Considering the fact that I haven't had that many job interviews, when it's just been more rejections from my goddamn many job applications than that. It's like everywhere I go, I just cannot find any peace anywhere. It's ridiculous, man. And I don't care. Like I said, people that may be watching my last video, if I lose subs over it, fine. It is what it is. It's none of my business. But I'm just trying to say, like, let me just get back to what I'm saying here, because I wanted to get my point across. I'm trying to feel good coming here. Now all of a sudden I hear a fucking drama again. Like yesterday, like I just cannot. I'm trying to get over that of what Julio told me yesterday. look, I'm not sitting here trying to attack him personally, but what he said, it's just, I mean, it's not wrong, but unfortunately, he just doesn't see that I'm like declining mentally. All right, that's not his fault that he wanted to say that, but in the end, he he has to understand that I just can't be that. I just can't be myself right now, and I still haven't. That's why my record in this 2020 is just 1-5. It's gonna be 1-5 after 2026 if I'm still in that dump. For Christ's sake. And when you factor in a friend like my ex-coach from Memorial Wall, who I lost, that's huge. That's where it affects me emotionally and mentally. That's why my energy is never the goddamn same. I lose guys like Angel, Rhea, Shy, all those people. I mean, every time I'm here, I'm always thinking about them. It's hard for me to just not let them go. And what makes it worse is that if I'm in my dump, I can't stop thinking about them. I can't. That's how I know it's hard for me to move on. I want to get this topic across properly because right now I just don't even know where I am. See, this is what happens. And then you got some guys, my ex-coach friends say, "Oh yeah, yo, you gotta admit your failures. You gotta admit own your failures. Start taking accountability." I don't want to hear that shit, dude. At this point, fuck accountability. I'm not gonna be accountable, man. At this point, nothing's my fault at this point. So shut up. Those people just need to just mind their goddamn own business. And just let me goddamn be. That's all I ask. And I had to block some of those people from my channel because I can't take their criticisms anymore. It's just that. And then I don't care if some people are going to tell me, "Oh yeah, you're just weak as hell. You can't handle this." Man, shut up, dude. Shut the fuck up. You dudes is clowns, bro. So, getting back to what I said, man. Let me just be fast here, because unfortunately my mind is just lost. I can't even focus. See, this is exactly how I'm having more bad days than good days. You look at the Lakers right now, they're just terrible as hell. Defense is horrible, just like my defense is horrible. So, look, my general consensus is when I come here, as a visitor, remember I graduated here in 2008. So that's a long time ago, because it brings back really good memories of when I was here. Not necessarily when it comes to like homeworks and I mean, some projects were cool when I took some art classes, but the rest of it's like papers. I'm just not all for that. But well, my head's not throwing right now, thank God. Let me say this though, I just missed the fun of being here. Even as a student, like there was lesser of dramas. Like, well, I mean, mind you, when I started here, this was like the fall of 2005, and it was an entirely different school back then because it didn't look as modern yet, and obviously we were using paper, and so it's just an entirely different atmosphere back then here. But I remember that I may get to this another time, another topic that I want to touch on, but like as far as like who I met here and who I met like 10 years later, I'm talking about like I want to go with the longevity status of that, but that's going to be another time. I don't have much time to discuss it. I think the next time I visit here, I'll talk about that. But it should be a fun topic, assuming that I don't run across any more drama here, you know what I'm saying? But again, this is like the times we're living in. But anyways, man, yeah, it's no secret that this is a nostalgic place that it was like the start of a whole different life right ahead of me, right? I remember I took a ESL class here, and it was Like that's how I met like when people are really friendly and all that. That's how I know the college life versus the high school life was very much different, and it's almost like, man, I'm ready to grow. But you know, it wasn't until like 10 years later I met a lot of people, especially who are like younger than me. They're like, dude, hell, some of them are like 8 years younger than me when I met them 10 years later. I'm talking about guys like from the Fosters. Like I met Angel and Rhea. I think they were both, like when I met them, I think they were only like in their early 20s. And same with Mari too. I think she was like, when I met her, she was 21. And I was already like 29, I think. So, but those other guys were probably in the same age group too. Like Angelique and Rhea. Christine, they're a little bit younger. And Krista, they're like a few years younger than them, but nevertheless, I mean, it was a blessing that I was able to last my friendship so long with them that, you know, that just made me appreciate just having it for so long, and, you know, was able to develop my closeness with these guys, and for the longest time, I'm just, you know, just a proud friend at the time. You know, now obviously it's different now because, you know, I've seen they're no longer around my circle, but I'm just saying, but I want to touch on that a little bit more when I get a chance to. Here's the thing though, just being here, it's like, yeah, some of it's still a little bit different now than it was like when I was here 20 years ago, right? But my thing is, this is like my true medication, because it's like the perfect stress reliever when I need to, you know, to just rid my stress and my frustrations, just anything negative around me that where I feel like my ongoing darkness just needs serious prevention. Now, of course, I know going to theme parks, because I do have my theme park pass, that also helps. But when I'm here, it helps very much, just as much, just knowing that it does bring a nostalgia. And like I remember every time I come here, there's always so much peace, and like I have, you know, even the people that I met, they were so friendly to me. I think most of them in my 3 years here. So I just thought I'd talk about this in a way that I just want to express that, you know, being in school, I mean, I do miss a whole lot of memories just about being here and knowing the people I was with, and some projects, yeah, I'm talking about my art projects, but, you know, in the end, you know, the memories are what I miss, and that's why I just really miss my true self, because I you know, as you know, a lot of the people that I used to have, you know, they're not seeing me like that anymore. But, you know, it's I know this will not be my only time visiting, but, you know, at least for the most part, at least I can definitely appreciate the nostalgia that I get from coming from being here, because it's such a blessing that, you know, I'm able to, you know, to have gone through, you know, school life in a you know, to start like college life like this, where, you know, just when I thought it must be a hard, you know, what am I saying? Like, it must be a tough start, because, you know, you're at the point you're already an adult, when really that was high school. But, you know, 4 years in high school and then being here to start, it felt different. But fortunately, I'm able to meet some people that are much younger, a little bit younger than me. But then, you know, where I definitely had the most comfort in myself was when it was like 10 years later, when I had this particular core. You know, most of them are popsters, like, you know, from the Sarah Geronimo fans group, right? When I met these guys like Angelique and Rhea, Jessica, even some of the Julie Angels like Cheska, Mari, right? Like, a lot of these people, who are like, you know, just like several years younger than me. But I'll talk about that in the next video. So as I'm walking out, I just thought that, you know, I know some people heard me yell. I don't really give a damn. But at the same time, they're hearing some good from me. So, you know, that's the one thing I gotta feel good about, just knowing how to balance it all out. So look, that's all I gotta say about it, man. I truly think this is not gonna be the only time. So I'm pretty sure there'll be another time to visit, so for a chance for me to talk about what I'm going to talk about. But I just thought that excuse me, that it'd be great to just start off with just knowing that I don't have to be like dealing with so much drama. But unfortunately, I just had to come across some drama that I had to cut the tape, and I had to start like continue where I left off with this one here. So all right, well, tell me what you guys think, man. Cypress College, man, it just really brings back good memories, and I just thought I'd leave it at that. So peace out, y'all. I'm going to Coffee Bean now. Peace. Thank you for watching, everyone. Like, share, and subscribe.